Investors are being seduced by a dazzling 59.5% surge in net income, completely ignoring a catastrophic 71.5% explosion in fixed assets. This isn't just growth, it is a capital intensity trap. But does this hidden bloat mean the stock is about to collapse under its own weight? The market has aggressively slashed the price-to-earnings ratio from 37.8 down to 27.2 in just a single year, despite earnings per share jumping to over $16. That is a massive derating of premium value at the exact moment the company, Microsoft Corporation, is posting record profits. This is the first crack in the facade. At first glance, a dropping PE ratio, which is essentially the price you pay for every dollar of future earnings, looks like the sale of the century. You might look at that 27.2 number and think the stock has simply become a bargain waiting to be scooped up. But when we look deeper, the picture becomes far more complex. The market isn't stupid. This compression in valuation signals that the smart money is pricing in a difficult future. They are seeing something the retail crowd is missing. The cost to generate those earnings is skyrocketing. The lesson for your investing strategy is simple. Never confuse a cheap stock with a misunderstood one. When a company posts record growth but its valuation multiple collapses, it is almost always a warning sign that the quality of that growth is deteriorating. The market is telling us that future dollars are going to be much harder to earn than past dollars. But to understand exactly why those future dollars are in jeopardy, we have to look at the single most alarming number in this entire report. This brings us to the capital intensity trap. The balance sheet shows a massive, almost unbelievable 71.5% increase in property and equipment, ballooning to over $286 billion. Now pause and think about that. Microsoft is supposed to be a software company. Capital light, scalable and high margin. Yet while their revenue grew at a very healthy 16.7%, the infrastructure required to generate that revenue grew 4 times faster. On the surface, you might spin this as investing for the future, building the data centers and AI clusters needed for the next decade. That is the optimistic view. But the complication here is the sheer scale of the divergence. When asset growth outpaces revenue growth by this magnitude, you are witnessing a structural mutation. Microsoft is evolving from a high-efficiency software business into a capital-heavy industrial utility. They are having to spend exponentially more on hardware just to sustain their current growth trajectory. The golden rule to remember here is this: beware of the capex spiral. If a company has to double its factory floor, or in this case, its server farms, just to increase sales by 15%, its return on invested capital is destined to fall. You are no longer buying code, you are buying concrete and copper. This situation leads us directly to the next, even bigger question. If they are buying all these assets, are they actually using them efficiently? And this is where the story gets really interesting. We need to look at the asset turnover ratio, which has stagnated at a low 0.46. For every dollar of assets on Microsoft's books, they are generating less than 50 cents of revenue. With total assets swelling by nearly 25% to over $665 billion, the company is becoming asset bloated. At first glance, you might forgive this. You might say, well, it takes time for new data centers to come online. But compare this to historical norms for tech giants. An asset turnover below 1.0 is dangerously low for a software ecosystem. It implies that the machinery is getting heavier, but the output isn't keeping pace. This declining efficiency creates a significant drag on return on assets. The investor's lesson here is crucial. Size is not strength. Efficiency is strength. When you see total assets climbing while turnover stagnates, it is a leading indicator that management is struggling to monetize its investments. It's the financial equivalent of a bodybuilder who puts on 50 pounds of muscle, but actually runs slower. Now you might be thinking, who cares about asset turnover if they are making money? And that brings us to the cash flow mirage. While the net income on the statement looks pristine, up nearly 60%, the cash flow statement reveals a darker reality. Net cash flow and cash equivalents plummeted by 49.0%, and net investing cash flows saw massive outflows of over $22 billion. This is the twist that catches 99% of novice investors. You see, profit is an opinion, but cash is a fact. The divergence we are seeing here, record profits but bleeding cash reserves, highlights the immense cost of Microsoft's strategic initiatives. The liquidity is being aggressively siphoned off to feed the CapEx beast. What does this mean for you? It means you need to look at the quality of earnings. If a company reports $1 billion in profit but its bank account shrinks, that profit is being trapped inside the business just to keep the lights on. It limits their ability to pay dividends or buy back stock. However, to fully grasp the risk here, we need to look at the profit margins because there is a paradox here that is blinding everyone. Microsoft achieved a spectacular expansion in net margin to 47.3%, up from 34.6%. This was driven by ruthlessly controlled expenses and operational efficiency. On the surface, this looks fantastic. Who wouldn't want a company that keeps nearly 50 cents of profit on every dollar of sales? But here is the complication, and it involves a concept in stock market analysis called mean reversion. Think of it as financial gravity. A 47% net margin for a company that is becoming this capital intensive is historically anomalous. It is likely a peak. When you are scaling hardware infrastructure this aggressively, depreciation and maintenance costs eventually catch up. Our scenario analysis warns that a drop in free cash flow margins to just 18%, which is still respectable, would wipe out over $22 billion in value. The lesson for us here is simple. Peak margins are often a sell signal, not a buy signal. You are paying for perfection, and in a macroeconomic environment with inflation at 2.7% and interest rates holding steady around 3.5%, maintaining perfection is incredibly difficult. This brings us to a conflicting signal that is causing a lot of confusion in the market: the price-to-sales creep. Remember how we started by saying the PE ratio had collapsed? Well, strangely, the price-to-sales ratio has quietly crept up to 10.62, exceeding last year's levels. This creates a deeply conflicted valuation picture. The stock is cheaper based on its earnings, but more expensive based on its pure revenue generation. Why is this happening? This divergence usually occurs when margins are at a cyclical peak. The earnings E in PE is inflated by those record high margins, making the ratio look low. But the sales S tells the truth. The stock price is running ahead of the company's ability to actually sell products. The golden rule here is to look for alignment. When valuation metrics diverge like this, one saying buy, one saying sell, it usually means the market is pricing in a margin contraction. So, with all these conflicting signals, what do the valuation models say? This is where the intrinsic value disconnect comes into play. If you run the classic Benjamin Graham calculation, Microsoft looks 45.3% undervalued. If you run a discounted cash flow analysis, it looks 12.6% undervalued. The math says buy. The math says the market is wrong. But here is the trap for those practicing value investing. These models are backward-looking or assume linear projections. They are built on the assumption that Microsoft is the same software business it was 5 years ago. They do not account for the structural mutation into an industrial utility. The Graham number sees the high earnings but ignores the massive capital requirement needed to sustain them. The lesson here is critical for your development as an investor. Models are tools, not crystal balls. When a company is undergoing a fundamental business model shift, from software to infrastructure, standard value investing models will almost always give you a false positive buy signal because they underestimate the new risks. But I want to hear your take. Do you think Microsoft's AI infrastructure spend will pay off, or will the weight of these assets crush their margins? Let me know in the comments. So hit subscribe so you won't miss what's next, and jump straight to the next video, because that could be the very insight you need to get ahead.